Ooh, what's up, everybody? We're back in this thing, man. With Let That Be Known Sports, man. It's finally over, man. The NBA Finals finally over. The OKC Thunder took the championship to the finals, man. Game 7, man. 103 to 91. We're here to talk about it, man. We're here to talk about the state of the NBA now. What's going on with the NBA? You know what it looks like down the road, man. But here's my co-host.
Hey, what's going on, fam? This your boy John. Go ahead and grab yourself something to drink. Sit back, relax, and let it be known. Sports. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Glad this finals is finally over, man. It was a mid finals to say the least. They stretched it out, made sure to win 7. I think this is one of the few finals where I seen like only people that's really celebrating this finals is OKC fans. Everybody else could care less. Like, this is probably the finals just ended, and like besides like sports media, nobody's really talking about it. Like, nobody's really saying anything about it. Only people that's talking about it or really saying something about it is people that cover sports. Other than that, you really wouldn't, like, it's not all over social media. Like, it's not crazy, you know. So it's just like, because I know I didn't watch it. I would go back and rewatch the highlights and stuff like that, but I didn't watch it. I just I like good basketball, and I think Nick Wright, um, he's a sports analyst. He said it the best. He said the reason why people aren't as excited about this finals is because for the first time, people can see the clear disparity or the clear separation of how the finals is being ref. Before, you would just say, "Oh man, they cheating," but now you can clearly see how they are manipulating the finals. And I say that because when you look at the way that OKC plays defense, they're extremely physical. I mean, they are physical. From Lou Dort on down, they are getting in you. Like, there's a clip that's going around where TJ McConnell is dribbling the ball near half court. There's a ref right beside him, and Casey Wallace is guarding him. Casey Wallace reach out and grabs his arm and holds his arm, and TJ McConnell is kind of like pointing to the ref like, he's holding my arm, and the ref just sitting there like, and then you go down on the other end, and Shea just got shot by a sniper. Just like, I mean, he just, and so when you allow OKC to play that physical, and then you go down the other end and you can't breathe on Shea, like, I don't want to watch that. Like, I don't want to watch that. That ain't good basketball. I mean, shout out to, OKC, they won, but I don't want to watch that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way, because you can tell by the lack of enthusiasm by everybody else about this finals. It just wasn't, the ratings were down. The Western Conference Finals ratings were down. So I ain't the only one that's feeling this way. Um, Shout out to Halliburton though. They said he tore his Achilles, I believe, and I think it would have been a much closer game had he been able to play it or had he been healthy. Um, I honestly think that Indiana probably would have won this series had he been healthy. He was battling from game 3 on out. He was battling with that calf, and it's like the same thing that Kevin Durant had. You know, that calf strain, and you try to play on him, and you put in so much stress on those tendons, and man, you're just asking for it. And hindsight 2020, you know, you would say, yeah, man, you should have sat out, but you know, that's easier said than done, especially with so much pressure from the media. And we're going to get into that as well. How the media puts pressure on players or provoke players and then want to hide their hands like I don't know why they like I don't know what's going on. I don't know why LeBron left for Miami. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But we're gonna get into that later, man. John, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, man, this is definitely it's definitely not one of the more memorable finals that I can remember in my many years of watching the game, man. Two small market teams, battling it out. But definitely shouldn't have went 7 games, but we know how that went. They had to get the best of the ratings that they could. Even got to the point to where in prior years you didn't hear about trades and signings until after the finals was over. And this year they allowed for these to come out just to keep traction
Anything
and
for
views.
rating.
So it's you probably not going to ever see two small market teams in the finals again. It just it was brutal, man. It's you can only watch a little bit of it at a time, or at least I did. But shout out to Halliburton, man. It's tough, man. This is where the team should have stepped in and saved him from himself, because a player is not going to do it. Especially it's game 7 of the finals. Anybody in that situation, you're gonna give it a go. You're not gonna just sit by the wayside, or you're gonna give it a go. You have to they have to save you from yourself, which he obviously, they didn't. They were so gun-ho on giving themselves a chance,
I
and now
think
he's out for the whole next season, the
I think
25
that
26 season.
it's hard because he's getting treatment, but when you're taking those injections, like you feeling good. Like they asking you in shoot around and you running around, you feeling good because you numb to everything.
but
Um,
but history tells us, man, with them calf strings, man,
they
you,
tricky, man. They are. Anything, any kind of calf, hamstring, any of those things are tricky. Like if you never pulled a ham or have a strained hamstring or a calf strain, or if you never had anything like that, like I tell you, like it's a tricky injury. It's an injury that you think that you have healed up from. And the
mhm,
moment you get active, you like, oh, like that must starts to bite at you. And if you don't know what it feels like literally something is biting at that muscle or tendon.
mhm,
Every time you begin to walk, it feels like something just kind of catching you, and you like,
mhm.
and so um it's a bad situation, man. And Carlisle pointed out something, man. They already had the buses painted, man, for the OKC Thunder, man.
And lined up in park, cleaned and everything. You know how that is. We talked about it.
So Carlisle was like, well, I wonder what's that about. Like, yeah, everybody got t-shirts and hats made, but you never hear about them already having the parade buses. Like they ready to parade in them, like we ready to go. Like we won, we know we won, but man, um the NBA could have did much better, man. Much better. Um Basketball is like this sport. Like this is the time for basketball because it doesn't have to compete with football
Mhm.
when it comes to playoffs. You know, when you get into the playoffs, football is generally done um from February. So from end of February on, it's just straight basketball. And there's no reason why the ratings shouldn't be through the roof. So like man, it's just crazy to think, the state of the NBA and wondering like, man, what's going on, or where do we go from here as far as the ratings are getting people to watch. And I applaud OKC. They built a team organically. Um they got some tough decisions to make coming up soon. J Dub got to get paid. A couple other people got to get paid. So we'll see what happens from there. But they built their team, so shout out to them. No shade on them. It's just,
They just took advantage of the opportunity.
yeah, like it's just unentertaining at the end of the day. Uh, it's just unentertaining, man. And mainly it's unentertaining because there's not a big enough star. Like, if there's a big enough star, people gonna watch. It just don't matter who playing. You just gonna watch. If there's a big enough star that's playing. But it's not enough personality. I guess the person with the biggest personality probably would have been Halliburton. But he was off and on dealing with the injury, so he would have a good game, bad game. So it really wasn't nothing consistent. But you didn't have a big enough star with enough personality to really, really carry the fandom of this NBA Finals. Um, but man, it is what it is, man. But we'll move on, man, and talk about the next breaking news, man. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Houston Rockets. And we figured that would probably be one of the places that he ends up. And so wasn't too shot he got traded there, but also wasn't too thrilled on the Rockets' behalf. Because when you make a move like that, it has to work. When you're selling off draft picks and you're selling off young talent, it has to work. So it's a lot of pressure on them to really, really make this work. So we'll see if that works, or would Kevin Durant be off to his 16. Other news, the Mavericks signed Daniel Gafford, or he's intended on signing a 3-year, $60 million deal. Now, I think this is a calculated move by Dallas. They wanted to sign him before he officially hits the free agency market. Then they wouldn't be able to trade him. So I think that he still will be in trade talks. I just think that now they got more of a bargaining tool to actually potentially trade for him. But what's your thoughts, man, on these deals, man? The Kevin Durant and the Daniel Gafford, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was already, talked about since halfway through the season that, this is pretty much, it was going to be pretty much KD's last year in Phoenix. Even back from the trade talks of him possibly going back to Golden State. which he did. You know, he declined and didn't want to go there. Um, Houston, I mean, it makes sense because they have the capital to do it, to make the move. You know, it was already speculated they had a certain amount of teams. I think Houston was one of them. I think Miami and San Antonio was, I think, his top three. And so of course Houston made the move. You know, you moving Jalen Green, who they was once high on, but I think this past playoffs that changed for them, how they viewed him. And so if you had the opportunity to get a higher gun, you you know they do it. And so you know it's something that they calling themselves making a move for it to go for it all. Um, it's gonna hurt them because they did have to give a Dylan Brooks within that trade as well. And Memphis will be the first to tell you, well, if they're honest, that when they traded Dylan Brooks or let Dylan Brooks walk, they was never the same. Um, but the Daniel Gafford deal, I'm still kind of thinking it through, still trying to flesh it out, because I know that at some point we either gonna have to move either him or PJ Washington. And so I don't know if they made their decision when they signed him that they're gonna stick with him and move PJ Washington, because that is a possibility.
Yeah, because you got the Cooper Flag fill
You
in,
got the
so
Cooper Flag in, so you know, of course, younger, cheaper at the moment, and PJ Washington is coming up. He's due. Is he due this year or next year? I
it's
think
one of the.
next year.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
next year.
next year. So that's
I think
coming up
they
as well.
I think they're gonna let him play, and then come trade deadline, I think he's gonna get traded.
Get traded. So I think my initial thought is they're gonna go with DGAF and move PJ Washington. Um Now in breaking news, it has just been reported that the Celtics have traded Drew Holiday to the Blazers
I
for,
seen that for Anthony
for
Simons.
Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks.
They got explosive. They got
Wow.
explosive. Jeez, boy. You talking about explosiveness. You put him out there amongst that, and I know he happy to get out of Portland. I know he I,
Yeah.
I know he happy to get up out of Portland. I know he in the house like, yes. Some women basketball can play for something.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that was yeah, that just broke a few moments ago. Uh what what are your thoughts about that, man, as far as fit for both sides, man? I mean,
Um, it's a step back for Portland, and
mm,
it's a step up for Boston. Boston keep doing it. We keep wondering like how y'all getting this money, but they keep doing they keep doing it. Now I don't think it'll pay off for them this coming up year because Jason Tatum
yeah.
will probably miss all next year, if half of next year, if not all. I don't know the timetable for his injury, but I know he's gonna miss majority of next year, next season. So it might not play out for them next year, but definitely in the future. If you have Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Anthony Simons, um, that's a lot of offensive firepower. Not to mention like Porzingis, not to mention Derek White.
I think they're gonna move Porzingis. I think he's done in Boston.
Can't play, man. Can't stay healthy, man.
Can't
I
stay
know
up.
how it is, man. He was with Dallas.
Like, he's on the floor. Yeah, he's good. It's just get him to the floor.
Man. Um, but But if they move Porzingis, man, that could be a hole for them because Al Horford is getting old, and
You
so
know, that man is old.
I mean he's old, but I'm saying as far as it's really starting to reflect in his play.
Mhm.
Um, so that can really hurt them. Um, not having an anchor defensively. And Anthony Simons, people are going to pick on him, and if you don't have an anchor, that's going to really, really show. So we'll see how that pans out. What they're going to do with the center position. But reason why I say it's a step back for Portland is like you move Anthony Simons, like your main scorer, to get Drew Holiday for what? Right now, Drew Holiday is he's just a guy to help you get over the top.
He's a
Like if you
yeah.
if you right there teetering on a contending team, Drew Holiday is a piece that you want to add that'll help us push us over the top. Drew Holiday ain't in the prime of his career where he's going to help carry a team. That's not the Drew Holiday of old. He ain't the Pelicans Drew Holiday.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know what the heck Portland is doing. Like going to get, and I understand bringing in some veteran, to help the young guys, but like you want to win. Like you want the young guys to get used to winning. You want to build a winning culture. And the only way you do that is by winning. And that's just giving away your hard gun, your big gun for that. Like where the points coming from now?
Let me ask you this: has Portland became the new Sacramento? 'Cause you remember how Sacramento is? If you went there, man, your career was pretty much going there to die, in a sense. Has Portland became that?
Not quite. And the reason why I say that is because like Sacramento self-sabotage themselves like in unnecessary ways more than Portland has. Um like from the not drafting of Luca to to like trading De'Aaron Fox. Like why? Why? Why would you trade him? Why? They went from a second round playoff team to not a playoff team at all. You couldn't even beat an injured Mavericks team. Like, why? You're looking at the team, you're thinking like, man, if we can add another piece, we'll be all right. But they would just go and add pieces that don't make sense, like adding DeMar DeRozan. Like that don't make sense. Then they change their whole play style, and then you get mad at Mike Brown. Like DeRozan don't help with the way they play because DeRozan isn't a volume 3-point shooter, so he's not going to help you there. He was a bad fit. Now Zach LaVine, good move. Good move. Now, if you had a Zach LaVine with a De'Aaron Fox, you're cooking with something now. You're cooking. All they was missing, man, to be truthfully honest with you, was a legit center. Sabonis is not a legit center. Now, had they went and made that move and got like a Daniel Gafford from Washington like Dallas did, we talking about a whole nother. Because now you got Daniel Gafford, Sabonis, and then you can have a Zach LaVine and Fox. Now you're talking about, now you're cooking. Now you're heading in the right direction. But, you're going backwards. But, it look like Portland is heading that way. Because I don't understand the direction of the move. I don't get it. It don't make sense. Anthony Simons was a problem. Like, who you gonna who DeAndre Ayton? Who you gonna look at for points now? You took a 20+ point scorer off the team. Like where you filling that up at? And what pick they have? What pick is Portland?
Let me see.
They like they got Cooper Flag coming or something. My team got that.
Let's see. Portland is. Come on. Let me see. Definitely not top five. That's for sure.
I think they got a top 10 pick, but I'm not sure exactly where. Um, and I shouldn't. I'm not sure where the.
So they're 11.
Oh, they outside the top 10.
So they outside the top 10. They're picking 11. Then also, uh, in that deal for Holiday, they gave up 2 second-round picks.
At this moment, Anthony Simons is a better player than Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday is what, 35, 36?
6. Like he got maybe 2 more years, maybe 2 more years.
And he's not a player that you build around. He's not that. You sure, man? Portland is not turning into that?
Man, I said they heading in that direction. We'll see. I don't.
Because none of these moves are making sense, man, for Portland. I'm not even sure who's their GM over there, but whoever their GM is over there, he just
Tell them we'll give them PJ Washington for Jeremy Grant. they handing out players.
He'll hand out players like that.
But now Dallas needs some more perimeter scoring. They need a little bit more perimeter scoring. We're good. We're good on the down low stuff.
Yeah.
Between Davis and Lively, Gafford, we're good. And whatever Cooper Flag does, we're good there. We need some more perimeter guys who can spread the floor, who can go out the dribble. We're good being able to even play small with Anthony Davis at the 5, Cooper at the 4, playing small, or whatever. So however that look, I mean, even the small lineup, if you put PJ at the 4 and Cooper at the 3, you can play small like that. So Dallas right now, they gotta fix their guard situation.
Yeah.
So the Mavericks guard situation is going to be a determining factor of what happens next year for the team, and are they a playoff team, or they whatever is the guard situation, what they're going to do, to address that. But now they need a point guard to fill in for Kyrie. Kyrie's out, until later on in the season. His recovery is going well. So he will be back next season, just won't be in the early stages of the season. So in that meantime, you need a point guard to fill in the role, to be a primary ball handler, to make plays when plays are need to be made. So I'm voting for Chris Paul. It's like the perfect fit because he will have no problem moving to the bench when Kyrie comes back. I don't want Westbrook.
He is a free agent.
I got love for Westbrook, and if you've been watching the show, you know that I gave Westbrook his flowers because I said he's one of those players that you wish that would have a ring when he retires. Just by the sheer way I love his passion and heart, the way he plays 100%. There's never going to be a game where you watch Russell Westbrook and you wonder, like, bro, why you not getting out of it? Like, why you? It seems like you're not even playing hard. You're not even trying.
Oh, like Dinwiddie.
Like, like you would never say that about Russ, you know. So I wouldn't mind having Russ on the team, just not the lone point guard to the team. So if they do pick up a Russ, get Chris Paul too. So, like Russ, uh,
You can't. You gotta play him in spurts. You can't
yeah,
just.
you can't just cannon the ball. Like
Mhm.
I don't know what happened because he used to be a lot better offensively. Um, it's just like in OKC, he had a mid range jumper that was good, and that ain't there no more. Mid
It's
range
broke.
jumper that's broke. But I'm voting for Chris Paul. Um, if we can't get Chris Paul, give us Kobe White. Trade for him.
I wouldn't mind Kobe White.
The only thing with Kobe White is Kobe White ain't gonna be looking to go to no bench. Go White out here open. So you have a little bit more
Yeah,
problems, when you're talking about bringing in somebody like that.
but he will be an amazing six man though.
Kobe White trying I try to get in.
He
Like,
will be. He will be an amazing six man. I mean, he- I don't think some players really realize, like, if you that six man, you're a bucket,
but
the freedom you'll have coming off the bench there.
as a player, I support him for not doing that because that hurts your money.
Like Lou
Not
Will.
not being a starter hurts your money. You will not get paid like a starter, even if you are getting buckets off the bench. You better ask Lou Williams.
Facts.
The moment he accepted that role,
He was boxed in.
I don't think Lou Williams ever made $10 million a year.
Mm-mm.
And you looking like what?
He was a
Talking about the
certified
guy,
bucket.
getting 40, and like yeah, that guy. So that's why I said I don't blame Kobe White for be like, man, nah, I don't want to come off no bench.
No, but that's the selfish part of me, just as a fan.
And
But
as a fan, but looking at
but
it like, bro,
yeah.
that's why I said bringing him will probably, might clash because
So
he's a really good player, man. He can run the pick and roll. He can shoot. He can shoot the piss out the ball. Like, you
so
know,
so I know, we spoke about it the other day, Colin Sexton. Him maybe being an option, but wouldn't he be in that same
now he would be a good
vein?
six man. Now he will probably accept the 6-man role. I think that he will be in the shadows for when Clay leaves. So if you
That's
go
not
and get him, he would just slide right into that fold.
okay.
Now, idealistically, if Dallas was able, now I don't know how much faith people got in Nico. He's done some good things besides the tragedy that had occurred. We ain't gonna speak on it no more. But he has done some good things. So it's not outside the realm of possibility of him doing some really good things because we have seen him make some really good moves. So we know that he's capable of doing that. We also I think his dumb days are behind him because I think ownership learned a lesson because they were like, bruh, ain't no way in the world you told us it was gonna go like this. I think if
Why
ownership
you tell me the man roll like this?
I think if I think if I think if the Mavericks ownership knew that it would be such a big backlash like it was, ain't no way Luka would have left.
I,
And
like
people saying how you don't know. You got to remember these people aren't basketball people.
I understand that they didn't know, but Nico, you gotta know, bro. You've been around the game too long.
Well, Found out Nico had a personal vendetta against Luca. So, Nico's been eyeing Anthony Davis for a long time. And so um he's able to make the move. And this is why ownership had gave him so much power, was because they didn't know basketball. And so they gave him the power and saying, well, we don't really know. But when they seen it, they was like, dude, why did you do that? And, you know,
That should have been a fireable offense in itself, bro. Like, because he knew.
I think I think he was on the cuffs, but I think the number one pick say, I think the number one pick, I think the number one pick say like
That's probably why he celebrates so hard. He like,
on 1.8 chance, they say. I think that saved the Mavericks whole franchise because Jason Kidd, I believe, was on his way out the door.
mm-hmm.
And I believe that Nico wasn't going to be too far behind him. I believe they were going to clean house. And there's going to be a whole bunch of new people in there. And, and we was going to be directionless, looking for direction. But when you get a player like Cooper Flag,
Let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about how he's been doing in the workout and how he worked out for Dallas, man. And
so normally a bona fide number one player doesn't work out. When you're bona fide and you're automatic shoe in for the number one pick. He's been automatic shoe in for the number one pick. Need I remind you, since high school.
that's a fact.
When he was playing in high school, he was already coveted as to be the projected number one pick. So this is how not only popular he is, but this is how good he is. For you to carry that title and that limelight, and then to go to a university like Duke, where the spotlight is really going to be on you. And what he was able to do, if you haven't seen it, what he was able to do in the USA workouts, him and a couple of other high school players were able to go and play against the USA team. And he was giving them the business. He was going to work. And that's why a lot of NBA players was like, yeah, he's the real deal. Like when you listen to like Carmelo Anthony, Amon Sharper, they was asking like, yeah, what you think? He was like, bro, he's the real deal. Like we seen it. Like we seen him play. Like we seen him play against real competition. And then coming to the draft workout, I wasn't sure if he was going to work out. You definitely know he's only working out for one team. Right? If he works out, it's definitely only gonna be one team because he's not going past one. Unless somebody's stupid. But he's not going past one. I promise you, he go past one, I'm driving to Dallas. And I'm getting a mob together.
Enough is enough.
Since the YNs don't want to do their job,
Mm-hmm.
they just want to bang on each other. They don't want to bang for the city. But I was surprised when he said he would work out. And I said, this joker here is either he is very confident or he felt like he got something to prove. I don't know which one is it, but he decided to work out for the Mavericks. And the Mavericks thought they would get a little light workout where, he'll go through all the workout drills, but he's not going to give it 100%, but apparently he showed up to work out, man, and put in real work. So much so that it impressed everybody in the building. of not only him just how hard he worked, but just how good he actually is. I heard that his jumper was like that.
That thing wet, boy.
I heard his jumper was like that. And we know he can handle the ball. And so, man, you know, like I told John, I think this pick saved Nico. People wonder, like, man, how Nico keep a job? If you're able to get the number one pick, that'll do it. That a lot of times that'll heal wounds. Because if this young kid can come in and he can be everything that he's projected to be, I'm sorry, we love Luka, but we're gonna be yelling Cooper. And the reason why I'm saying that is, even so early, is because of what he's surrounded by. Right? He's not looked to be the savior immediately. Right? He can get his feet wet, because you got Anthony Davis by you.
Yeah.
And then, later on you have Kyrie Irving coming. So, like, it's not as much pressure as it would be if he went to a Washington or he went, to another, team that's really, really, really struggling, a Portland or something like that, where they looking like, man, we need you to get 26 every night right now. Right now, Dallas just need him to be good.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really need him to be special right now. Just need him to be good. He can grow into the, becoming special. Man. But what's your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, man. They say, he came in and knocked it out the park. They say he shot better, way better than they expected. Especially his three ball. He was hit him off the dribble, just every which way they presented to him. And if anyone knows about these pre-draft workouts, they are intense.
They're very intense.
They are meant to uh, get you exhausted just to see how you will react. Once you're exhausted, would you push through or would you fold? And like I said, from the reports, man, he knocked it out the park, man. He killed it, man. Which, I guess if it was any doubt, he put that doubt to rest
I
with
mean,
this workout.
he's like the perfect kid, bro, when you think about it, though. Like, he come from a hardworking state, the state of Maine.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nothing up there to do, man. Like, all the guys up there, man, they hardworking,
Mhm.
So he don't come from a flashy state or city. So, he's not influenced by, so much influenced by the media. And
Right.
and I said this, on previous podcasts. If he's what he's if he lives up to what he's gonna be, he has a chance to be the face of the NBA. You have a white boy with this kind of skill, then you may be waiting on this since Larry Bird.
That is a fact.
So much so they was willing to give it to Luka. That's how much they waiting on it.
Mhm.
And Luka's not even from this country. But if you can get one from this country, man,
And you couldn't write it no better, especially him coming from Duke, which is that's the golden child. Yeah, you couldn't write it no better, man. So I mean, kudos to him, man. Going in there, do what he has to do, and like I said, I commend him, man. Especially when you're pretty much you're a lock at number one. So
he could have
you
said
did it.
no, and
You could
Dallas wouldn't have batted the eye. Like,
bet
okay,
it eye. We still would have took him.
we'd have drafted you on just what ifs.
What else?
Like,
Facts.
hey, y'all seen them? No, we ain't seen them, but
Seen him,
shoot,
but
we gonna take them. Like, of course, you want to see the product before you invest so much into this product. Like, you finna give this young cat millions of dollars,
facts.
and normally before you invest all that money in your number one draft capital, you want to see. I want to see you. Like, I want to see you under stress. I want to see you, intense situations, different defenders. They might put different type of defenders on you.
Hmm.
It's all kind of stuff like that. They might put a guy in there. He might intentionally foul you.
Yeah,
I just want to see how you handle it.
that.
Can you
Yeah,
handle that type of pressure? Can you handle that type of environment?
let me
And
see.
they put you through all these type of things to see your temperament, to see how you handle it. Can you dog it out? Can you find a way to still do your thing? And can you do it while you're tired? Can you do it while somebody yelling at you on the sideline? Be somebody on the sideline yelling at you,
Hmm.
saying all kind of stuff to you. They put you through all these different tests to just see, like, I want to see what you are. So they put you through the one-on-ones, all different type of shooting drills and defensive drills and all kind of stuff, man. um to really know what, I want to really know what I'm getting here. I want to know, you
Right.
know and it's just like anybody who, if you had a team, like, yeah, like, I know the kid is good, but I want to know how good is
How
he,
good?
you know
Nah, man. Like I said, man, shout out to him, man. Now, somebody that's the opposite of that.
I knew he was gonna break.
What's his kid name? Ace.
Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey. You think his ish don't stink? He's refusing to work out, let alone meet with teams. He'll set up the meeting and then turn around and cancel the meeting. And he's projected to be top 5 in the lottery. Um, and and so he's another one that's coming in after his freshman year. So he's what, 19,
Yeah. This
young
is
guy.
this is one of those things, John, man, that can either work out for your fella or it could blow up in his face. Because he can either fall right into the right position to where he can fall low and go to a really good team. Or he can fall and go to a really bad team. And now the pressure's on. I think they have him going to uh
Initially Philly
Philly, but I
at
think he's
3.
dropping down to Wizards. I think
That's at 6.
they have him falling out of the top 5 after what happened with you know declining the interviews and stuff. Now, if you go to the Wizards, bro, like, you either gonna be that or you ain't, because the Wizards aren't good.
And the opportunity is there if you that.
I
But
mean, I think, like, for a young player,
I wouldn't advise it, but
it ain't about opportunity. It's about the perfect fit to be who you are, or to really display who you are. And as when you coming into a draft, if I'm a young player, if I'm a agent, or if I'm advising this young kid, I'm really trying to get my client to the perfect situation, or as close to it as I possibly can. So, like,
yeah,
Cooper Flag couldn't have failed to a better situation. Like, he
facts.
just couldn't have failed to a better situation. Like, you just couldn't ask for a better situation. Like, he falling into a team with vets. He falling into a team with a talent already there.
Yeah.
He has championship coach. It has championship players on the team. He has talent around him to where he doesn't have to play hero ball. Like,
Now, but I blame the young fella's team that's around him that's orchestrating this, man. Um, because like you said, if right now he's slotted to go to Washington, and Washington just picked up Chris Middleton's option for
mm-hmm.
33 million. So he's not going nowhere at least this year. And I think him and Middleton play the same position, the 3, if I'm not mistaken.
A young fella probably gonna more likely come off the bench. You
But
know,
I'm just, yeah. but I'm just saying. But yeah, man, he needs to be careful, man. You end up either there or
Yeah,
in
you end up
Charlotte.
like an Imani Bates.
Money Banks buried, talented, but you buried somewhere, and you never, your career is at a standstill, and next thing you know, you'll end up overseas somewhere. Um, yeah, man, that's bad advice, man. Young fella needs to. I'm not saying you have to take every workout or every meeting, but you have to, you know,
If you're a top 5 pick and you're not number 1, you should work out for the top 5 teams,
teams. Facts.
excluding, the number 1 team.
Yeah,
So if I'm Ace Bailey, I'm working out for the top 5 teams except Dallas because I know I'm not going number 1. But the other teams that I projected to fall to, I'm working out for them.
yeah, yeah, man. Because you know, and I don't even know who his representative is, like who his agent is, management.
Or if you want to be calculated, if there's a team that you really want to go to, have your agent reach out to them and say, "Hey, my client really wants to play for you guys. He feel like he's a perfect fit for you guys. He want to come work out for you." And I would do everything I could to entice that team to come get me.
Mm-hmm.
I go work out for him. Like, I want to go to this team.
Yeah,
Like young fella, like he said, man, I want to go to Golden State. Like, I feel like I can fit there. Like, entice them to come get you.
come get you. Yep. If you need me to come work out, I'll come work out. You need me to come meet, I can come meet.
Like, I'll
But
be more strategic like that,
that
but you don't want to get the bad character rap. Like, you don't want to get that because now teams are scared of you. Because, like, man, if he already cutting up now, I can only imagine what he gonna
imagine
do if I get him in here and I give him some money.
money, and he don't get his way about something, he gonna cut up like this.
So like, you never want to see that. You want to see stuff like Cooper Flag. Like, you want to see like the number 1 guy going work out. Like,
Yeah,
Cooper Flag could have been a diva and be like, "Bro, I ain't working out for
I ain't
nobody.
working on. Yeah, I'm still going number one.
One, I ain't working out for nobody."
Facts. So I mean, yeah, I just hope it don't work against young fella, man. Yeah, man. Because once you get that certain stigma on you, man, it is tough to get that off of you, man. Yes, and a lot of players they never get it off of them.
I want to speak on this one thing before we close out, man. The Memphis situation. They're saying that they need to move the Grizzlies out of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
They said Memphis is too dangerous. I've heard players been robbed on the way going to the game, walking from the hotel, which is across the street from the arena.
That's crazy.
I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at the gall to be able to do that.
That's
And
crazy work.
you know how busy it is. A game is going on, and you're robbing an NBA player. Excuse me, guys. I'm robbing an NBA player and in front of all these people. It's a
Crazy.
ton of people out there. They need to go ahead, in my opinion, move the team on to Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville is a good city, man. I think they're one of the cities that should have a team, along with Seattle. I would say Vegas, but man, I'm so scared of putting a team in Vegas, man. The casinos,
It's going it's gonna happen, man.
like, shoot, man.
Hey, we gambling their whole game check away.
Man.
But it's gonna happen, man.
I know it's gonna happen, but like those, like Vegas, Seattle, Nashville, or some of the teams. I think Nashville should have a team over Charlotte. Like, I don't know how Charlotte got a team over Nashville.
I can agree with you on that.
And no diss to Charlotte, but like Charlotte you know. So
Yeah, I mean, in
like
Memphis,
I don't understand because Nashville got the Tennessee Titans.
they do.
How do you not have a basketball team there too? Like I don't understand. You put the basketball team in Memphis.
Memphis is so small but so deadly.
It's not big at all.
It is it's it's like one of Dallas like subsections. That's the whole city of Memphis.
It'd be like the whole Oak Cliff. Like
Oak
Oak
Cliff,
Cliff is like Memphis.
Memphis.
If you know from Dallas, Oak Cliff is a really big subsection
Yeah.
of Dallas. Like it's really, really big from where it starts. Like leaving downtown area, going on into the Methodist area over
Hmm.
there. That's kind of where Oak Cliff is starting,
Starting. Yeah. Bishop Arts and all that. Yeah. You got old Oak Cliff and new Oak Cliff. And yeah.
and it runs all the way down, man, to 20 on the other side of the thing.
Yeah.
You get all the way down there to Redbird, all that down
All
there.
that.
Like that's Oak Cliff. That is really big. If somebody said they from Oak Cliff, like you can
What
know, like
part?
you could be from Oak Cliff and not know a whole lot of people. like, like no cap. Like,
Yeah.
because Oak Cliff, I'm gonna tell you, Oak Cliff has so many high schools.
Man.
Like you got Adamson, you have South Oak Cliff, you have Velt, you have
Melina.
Maceo, you have what is it?
Melina.
Molina, you have
Say
Carter,
Carter.
you have Kimball. Um, that's 7 there. That's 7 high schools in so far. I'm trying to think of all the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them. I
That's
think it's
all.
7 high schools.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't say Hutch. Hutch is considered Holland
Nah,
Hills.
Highland Hills is a different.
Yeah.
It's a different neighborhood.
A whole different neighborhood.
Um,
Yeah. That's about you.
so it's like 7 high schools just to show you how big Oak Cliff is. Like you can be in the part of Oak Cliff and somebody y'all can both grow up in Oak Cliff and not ever cross paths.
That's a fact.
Like you can be from the Illinois Marsalis area and somebody from the Keystone Polk area.
Yep.
Or you can be from the Ann Arbor area down there and somebody down there in the Redbird area. Like you just never cross paths.
Yeah. Ramona and Denley.
All those all those areas there, man. Like
Cedar Crest.
Cedar Crest, Wheatland, like all
Wheatland.
those, areas, man, that you can be from and not, and not cross paths with people. That's how big, the cliff is. Um, we grew up a large part of our lives in the cliff as well.
South Oak Cliff.
You know, going to school there. You know, I went to elementary school there a little bit, and then I went to middle school in the cliff. But it's very common for somebody to be living in the cliff and then going to school in another part of town. So like when I first moved to the cliff, I was already entangled with the cliff because my grandma was always staying over there. But I was living with my grandmother, busing all the way to the Grove to go to elementary school, and I'm in elementary school. I'm riding 2 city buses.
Buses. We getting up at dusk.
I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, man. Catching 2 city buses.
Yeah, we getting up at dusk, bro.
Doing that for years.
Years. Just let me go here.
After a while, man, I was just like, man, I just need to go to school down the street. And what was crazy, like all my partners and stuff that I was, living around in the cliff, they was all going to school there. So, of course you're gonna naturally want to go to school with them, like, man, whatever. So it eventually happened, man. I went to school. I ended up going to school down there, man. For those who know, I went to Russell on Beckley. So, and it wasn't that, different because I knew everybody. I know all the people. So it's like the teacher was confused though because you get a new transfer in, and on my transcript it says, I went to school in
In the
which
Grove.
some people would say it's kind of not the Grove. Some people would say it's kind of East Dallas.
Oh yeah, you talking about yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just, yeah. So it's kind of, I call it East Dallas. You
You can
know,
say that.
to satisfy everybody. I call it East Dallas. I have stayed in the Grove too, so I stayed in East Dallas. I stayed in the Grove. I stayed some everywhere. So, but it says East Dallas, so you look at it, you're like, oh man, he, ain't, what you doing moving over to the cliff? And then, but you're confused because I'm dapping up everybody in the hallway. So, like, how you know everybody? Like, man, I stay over here. Just how I know everybody. Yeah, I stay over here, man. I go to the parks over here.
Hmm.
I know everybody in here. It's a whole celebration now.
Yep.
It's like, oh, like, we in here.
Hmm.
And boy, I had so much beef with them teachers up there. Boy, I had no beef with any students transferring to the cliff. All my beef was with teachers and a janitor. Shout out to the basketball coach, man. He was cool. He was real, real cool. The teachers hated him, man, because he had me on the team. But he was cool, man. He's the one that really introduced me to the AAU life. That was my 6th grade year. I started to play some AAU ball and stuff like that. We had a lot of tournaments at Carter High School. For those who know, them early morning tournaments, man. God, dog. But I got introduced there. But man, I had a lot of beef with them teachers up there, man. I had a teacher trying to fight me, y'all. No cap.
Yeah.
Her name Miss Johnson. I call out wherever she is.
He's just on site.
Man, y'all, I kid you not. I'm in 6th grade, man. A quick story time. We are in the cafeteria. I don't know exactly what we got going on in the cafeteria, but I'm walking back to my seat, and for some reason, she decides to grab me as I'm walking to my seat, and I, jack my arm away from her, and she like, "Oh, for real? That's what we on?" I'm like, "Don't grab me." We go back to class. I'm in somebody else's class. I'm not even in her class. After school, the teacher in that class told me, "Hey, you stay out of class." Well, I'm like, "Man, what the heck?" And I'm supposed to be riding back home with my partners, Bubba and I'm riding back home with them,
Hmm.
whatever. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss my ride. I'm gonna have to walk all it's a fall all the way
That's a
home.
walk, boy. I walked that walk
You know.
from Clinton. Ooh, that's a walk, boy.
So I'm like, man, I don't want to walk this. I don't feel like doing this, man. And so they had me in there. So all these teachers, all the 6th grade teachers come in there, and Miss Johnson coming there last. She got some white K Swiss, a thing of Vaseline, and some white tube socks, and slams them on my desk. Boom. I'm still oblivious to what's going on.
Oh
I
boy.
haven't put two and two together just yet. And she says, "We got a problem?" And I'm looking at her like, "What? Do we have a problem? You must have a problem with me because you want to square up with me." And so it started to dawn on me. I said, "Oh, because you tried to yank on me, and I wouldn't let you yank on me."
Mhm.
Oh no, I got my tennis shoes and Vaseline right here. And for those, Miss Johnson had a lot of this going on in the front. Miss Johnson had to yell, boy. She had to. She had- man, all my Russell classmates, man, y'all know what happened. Y'all was there, Bubba, all y'all, Ricky, all y'all, man, y'all was there, man. Bubba, Ricky, know about Miss Johnson. Maybe my little cousin might remember her. She was in the 4th grade at the time. Bianca was there.
Bianca. Shout out to Bianca.
Uh, but yeah, like no cap, like man, she wanted to real life
Oh
fight me
man.
with her K Swiss on my desk. She wanted to real life fight me, and that ain't the only time that they was trying to like get me. Like the teacher class I was in, she was like she didn't like something I said, so she had a student come out try to approach me. Like, yeah, I want you to do that. I want you to talk smart thing. I'm like, I'll say the same thing to him. I don't care. Bro, I know Steven. He stay on Alaska. I know him.
Oh.
I walk in the hood. Like I he don't even come outside. Like, bro, but it was like with the teachers, man, it was treacherous, man. But with the students, it was all love. It was all love, man. It was all good, man. The best move for me, especially for as basketball wise. But it was all love, man. Um, which led on to me, playing, further on in my AAU career. Um, I ended up going to Story. I should have went to Brown, but I went to Story because I wanted to go with my friends. But I was supposed to be going to Brown.
That man went to prison, y'all.
No cap, like, like I was supposed to go to Brown. My mom was like, she
Brown's
had
closer.
she had already like set it up like for me to go to Brown, and I was supposed to be going there, even for basketball, for a better basketball opportunity, or whatever. And so I was like, man, I don't want to go there. I protested it with my mom for a long time. I don't want to go there. I want to go to Story because all my friends there. Everybody from my neighborhood is there. Um, and man, on behold, my mom did. She shouldn't have. She gave in to me going to Story. And boy, we pulled up the Story, and boy, it's prison gates on the ball on.
Imagine Lean on Me. The school that Lean on Me,
No cap.
that Story. Just for
Story was so rugged. When you talk about like a hood school, it didn't really get no more hooded than Story. Like it was rugged. Like if you didn't know how to carry yourself and you couldn't fight, don't go to Story. Don't go to Story. There's plenty of people who was running from school every day. Like you had people doing donuts on the front school lawn, and they daddy truck. I'm talking about like that type of hood, like almost hitting kid. Like, oh my god, dog. You know, people there, always pistols there, cocaine in the school, like kids getting caught with cocaine and kids getting caught with pistols. Like it was just, man, it was rugged, man. It was rugged. I shouldn't have went there, man, but it ended up kind of working out for my good because I ended up meeting, you know, um, my next AAU coach, um, which I ended up playing for DFW Urban Elite, and I ended up meeting people like TK and all them through there. But yeah, man, it was rugged, man. It was definitely rugged, and I wasn't going to class. I wasn't. I wasn't going. I was not applying myself. I was not applying myself at all. I had truancy.
So you was a product of your environment.
Man, I was selling candy, boy, like a fool. And I was stealing the candy and just get wholesale prices because I was getting full profit because I'm not, I'm selling it. So I would go to the min yards, then go to school.
Yeah, that and me was about a quarter of a mile from the house, and
But
then you gotta go
listen,
back uphill.
I had to go way back down there.
And what Minyards is, it's uphill both ways.
Whether you go Illinois way, or you go like coming off Marsalis, you're going down the hill.
Hill.
Like we
Steep.
live almost in a um almost like a ditch, a bowl of,
Yeah.
at the bottoms, you know. And so man, it's that was crazy, man. Just a little story time about upbringing, man. I'm gonna start doing that more. We'll start doing that more, man, so y'all can get to know us a little bit better and our background and
Yeah, we got some stories, boy.
how treacherous it was at times, fun times, man, bad times. But man, yeah, it was them days, man. I'm glad my kids don't, have to grow up that way.
Boy.
Uh, but that was rough, man. Going the story, that was rough. It did feel like prison at times. Felt like you was legit on a prison yard. Like from the teachers, I don't know, like the teachers were hood too.
And they had to be being in that.
Like for sure, I don't blame them. Like for sure, like teachers, like their teacher cuss you out. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
like
if
these
not,
kids was something else, bro.
yeah, we know kids that was 5, 6 years old stealing cars.
Man, stealing them, just breaking into them just to sit in them.
Sit in them.
Like these kids was bad.
Just, it ain't no you just bad. Just
I was like, Junior, why you breaking there? What was y'all doing? We was just in there.
yeah.
Like it was just that's like the hood, man.
Indeed.
But you want to be known though, so people don't breaking your stuff.
Got network, man. Got network.
Or you
We,
can
we
walk.
cool. We cool, right?
You want to walk around in the hood, all right. Not worried
Yeah.
about always somebody always trying to beat you up and nothing like that, run down on you. So you need to get out and show your face a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Mingle and
be able to go to your parks. You ain't nothing if you can't go to your own park.
you can't.
You can't go to your own park or your own local recreation or your own local boys and girls club. The Boys and Girls Club was dangerous. That's
Boy.
man, shoot. Well, I used to be up in there too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I remember, man, our dad, man, I had a membership at the Boys and Girls Club. I was 5, and he used to send me up there by myself and have me to ride Dart back. And if anybody from Dallas know about Dart, anything can go down at any time. And I got to the bus stop, and somebody was stabbed at the bus stop.
Which Boys and Girls Club you going to?
The one over there in Holland Hills off of Tioga.
Oh yeah.
It's no longer there now, but at the time it was there.
Down.
So he had me to walk up here by myself and then ride the bus back. And at the bus stop, dude just sitting there just cut all up.
I was going to Bushman because I was hooping there.
Mm.
And it was wild over there. So I was like,
Yeah, man, it's tough, man.
What he kid, wow.
Oh, wow. That's a fact, man. It,
But man, uh, it makes you who you are, man. But you can, you know, not to glorify, man, but you can be every bit of a man that you need to be, man, not growing up in the hood too.
yeah.
So, like, for people who didn't grow up in the hood, man, pride that, man, wear that as a badge of honor.
Don't let
Um,
nobody guilt you thinking you
that
got.
you, if you ain't from the hood, that you ain't black or you ain't down or like, man, I wish I grew up differently.
Mhm.
All the time growing up in the hood, I wish I didn't have to deal with some of the stuff I dealt with. You know, so but we'll dive deeper into our upbringing, man. Y'all be some of the wild stuff we have to deal with, man. Like our living conditions, like man, y'all see.
Oh man.
Man, man. We'll start sharing a little bit more with y'all, man. Um, we might start a new thing, man. Start story time, man. We might.
Yeah, we gotta do that, man. That'll be interesting.
We might start doing a little story time, man, and start bringing people along, share their stories too, man. We might tap into that, man, because we got a whole lot,
Boy,
man.
boy.
We
Say,
got a
man.
whole lot. We got a whole lot, man. When you grow up like that, man, you experience a lot, man. You know,
Oh, but
going from different schools, man. Like you experience a lot, man.
yeah.
Actually, going to a school in a better neighborhood was actually a culture shock to me. You know,
Oh yeah, you did in Mesquite, yeah.
so when you're leaving Oak Cliff, going from a place like Story, and then you go to a place in Mesquite, I was like, I was in total culture shock that I did not do well in school at all that semester. I had to end up transferring, going back to the hood because I was gonna fail the 8th grade. I went back to the hood, but the culture shock of that, like I didn't even make the basketball team in Mesquite, and I was the best player, probably in Mesquite at the time, and didn't make it, man. Just culture shock and just not being able to lock in. Killed the tryouts or whatever, killing them. But just not being able to lock in, and just because of the surroundings were different and how they move. Like even something as simple as lunch, I was like, bro, like the stuff they was getting for lunch, I was like, man, like bro, like what y'all eating? It was normal to them. I'm like, man.
The real food?
Or just how peaceful it was.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't no after school fights. It wasn't none of that.
I didn't get to experience that, so I don't know what that's like. I just know chaos.
So I had it for a semester, and it was just like, oh, wow. And then I ended up going to Gaston. For people who know about Gaston, ended up going to Gaston,
Shout out to WH Gaston, man.
and that's why I finished my thing out or whatever. And ended up running into all the people that I knew I went to elementary school with. So I ended up running into them, and with the guys, I had some fights there. Okay. I went from peaceful to that to fights.
Yeah, I did too. I
Uh,
think the second week of school, I
you
was just
know, a
yeah.
lot of people there, that was different because a lot of people there knew me, and then there was a lot of people there that didn't know me. And so they wanted me to be on the basketball team. A lot of my guys that I knew, like my guys like Jeremy and Damien, but it was also a lot of guys who didn't want me to be on there. They felt threatened by me, so they was really trying to press me on that. And at the time, I just wasn't going. I just wasn't. I wasn't going. I wasn't going. I didn't have no resolve. Not like now. Like I didn't have no resolve. So I was just.
But
I was,
that's the thing, man. You have to, because if not, it's gonna keep happening.
and so I was just with that. And so it's just like, bro, just meet me in the bathroom. And so we just get at it. Like
Mhm.
I was just on that type of timing at that time, and the coach found out he just was not having that on the team.
Coach Coach Graham.
Like Damian, Jeremy, them they were more cool and relaxed guys. Like if you ever meet them, like they're not really aggressive like that. You know, they more so cool, laid back. I was just a little bit too much aggressive. Like I was, I was just on that. You know, I was always slap boxing. I was always, I was just always
That's
like,
it was like a pastime.
it just was like I just always liked it.
Yeah.
Like if you brought me any type of aggression, I'm finna match it. That's just how I was. I didn't start anything. I was cool, but if you came at me a certain type of way, I just wasn't gonna let that go. I just wasn't going. I just wasn't gonna let that go. So if somebody talked to me crazy, then it's just
Is
gonna have
that
to be what that is. But for as like like picking at people, so like I didn't do that. You know, you don't last long. If you're a bully, you don't last long.
no? But yeah, it just you have to, man.
You know, having that man, but it is what it is, guys. We'll have a little bit more story time, man. You follow us on our other channel, man, and let that be known. The reaction, man. We're gonna start putting some story times on there, man.
Yeah, man.
Let y'all know some of the stupid stuff we did and
Ah,
we got into and as youngins and stuff we would do. Man, let y'all know, as you can tell, we grew up in a whole bunch of hoods. So from the Grove to the Cliff to East Dallas. I mean, just all over, man. You know,
mhm.
um, so when you're growing up in different hoods like that and moving constantly from apartment to apartment to this and that, you're going into people's hoods. You're going to people's neighborhoods. And you have to establish yourself there.
Mhm.
In order to get some type of respect to where you're able to, function in that neighborhood. It's shameful, but that's how it is. Like if you want to function where you stay, then you have to get that respect, respect there.
Mhm.
So
You gotta adapt, and you have to adapt fast. If not, we lunch meat.
so I was just always like that. Like I would fight, win, lose, or draw. If I lost, hey, I'll fight again. It's just how I was. I was conditioned to be that way. So, um, of course, you grow and mature and then realize like that ain't the way you should handle things. But growing up, that's the way I handle things. So, yeah, I had a lot of fights. I had a whole lot of fights from being young to of that. Now got to high school, I kind of calmed down or whatever. But elementary, middle school, I was definitely on that.
He was LYN.
I was definitely on that. My mom was here, she'll tell you. Like, you fighting when you fight in front of your mama. Like, I fought in front of my mama. My mama would tell you, like, hey, yeah, he would. Like you fighting a lot. Most people they never like really fought in front of their mama or nothing like that. Like I have. Like, yeah, I would sock you in front of my mama. Or anywhere. Like I would fight you anywhere. I'll fight you on church ground when I was young. I was just on that type of time. I'm not lying to you. I just would fight you anywhere. It just didn't. It didn't matter.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
but man, just I'm just clowning around, man. But man, we finna get up out of here, man. Be looking out for some more content, man, from us, man. The draft will be Wednesday, man. We'll come back, man, and cover the draft and do a reaction about what happened during the draft, man. Probably that Thursday
Yeah.
or Friday, man. We'll do a reaction, man, about the draft and what happened and where players landed and trades that might happen during the draft. So we'll be there, man, talking about that, man, and giving our reaction to that, man. But remember, man, follow us on all social media platforms and let that be known. Remember, it don't cost you nothing, man, to hit that like, subscribe button.